What's the energy today? Marigolds could be significant. That's the song. Lemon trees. Okay, that's already too much. Pack up and go. Your head's somewhere. Where are you going? The answer is there if you look closer. Pay attention to details. Zoom in information. So maybe you're on some sort of like quest for more information. Like you're just wanting to study something, either going back to school, diving into your own studies. You're being asked to look closer and pay attention to the details because that's where something exists. You're gonna have an epiphany about something. Epiphany about how much of a treasure you are. Protect your energy and space. Cycles repeat until the lesson is learned. So maybe in the past you have not felt like you were a treasure. You have just given away your energy for free. You have not protected your energy at all. That's been a repeating cycle of yours. But this thing that you want to study, possibly this feels like you're studying more of like the fine details of life itself. Like I see life in like equations, and like you can see the structure, you can see the fine details of life. I see life as a language sometimes, so it's like you're wanting to dive more into your intuition, what that looks like to you. You want to dive into the fine details of your intuition. And when you do that, you got to protect your peace. You got to protect your energy, because you got to figure out what energy is yours, what your intuition sounds like, what your fear sounds like, what other people's projections sound like. We got gift, self-care, and belief. Yellow roses could be significant. We got precious offering, heal, repair, connect, examine existing beliefs. So again, this just feels like you're diving into the fine details of yourself, of your intuition, of your heart, of how precious you are. So this is going to be a moment of healing for you, especially since you're going to be protecting your energy. But you might be doing this at some other place besides your home. You can either be going to a retreat and doing this, you could just be going on a road trip, going and traveling somewhere else, or just distancing yourself from friends, family, people, everyday life. All right, well, let's talk about more of this zoom in information thing. What are you looking for? What kind of fine details are you wanting to find? I see everything in slow motion. So I was talking about how I see life as a language. I see emotions as a language. I see life as like mathematical equations, and like you can see the structure and stuff. So maybe somebody sees life in slow motion. Sometimes I see life backwards, like in reverse. But what are these fine details that you're wanting to take a closer look into? You're wanting to learn how to manifest. You're seeing all these people with just mind-boggling success, and you're wondering, why do I not have this success myself? This is the Four of Wands, talks about ultimate wish fulfillments, and the Six of Wands talks about public recognition. So this both talks about success. So you're sitting over here wondering why you don't even have your own personal internal wins. And there's people out here with these huge, elaborate, grand, abundant wins. So you're kind of wanting to learn how to manifest. Okay. You're diving into the finer details of manifestation. Well, what's your first step? What's the first thing you should study? Focus on the relationship you have within yourself. We both have masculine and feminine within us. The part of us that wants to expand and to grow and to be more and to be expressive and to be joyful, and the other part of us that wants to keep us contained and protected and is providing the space, providing the shell, providing the container around us in order to hold all of our expression. So you need to become aware of what this relationship looks like within you. I usually consider the masculine to be your nervous system and the feminine to be your expansion. So how wild and carefree does your expression want to be? Do you feel safe being wild and expressive? Do you even know what your wild and expressive looks like? What does your heart look like? What does your heart want? What are your desires? And how terrified are you to be seen? How terrified are you to let this expression be wild and free? How big do you have to expand yourself so you can contain yourself to be able to walk with an integrated sense of like wild and free authenticity? So like if you're shy, but you really want to put yourself out there, you want to wear crazy clothes, you want to sing, you want to yell and be crazy and just dance around and be weird, but you're shy. If you have a nervous system, a container that tells you, don't be weird, don't be shy, people are going to judge you, people are going to think you're weird, then you're restricting this heart of the feminine side of you that just wants to be wild and crazy. So you got to work on your relationship within yourself. What kind of conversations go on between the masculine and feminine within yourself? What kind of conversations go on between your nervous system and your expression? How often do you diminish yourself? How often do you silence yourself? How often do you play small? Because if you have sights and you want everything abundance, you want the public success, you want the finances, you want the family, you want the money, you want the travel, you want the job, all of it, you're being asked to expand, and you can't expand if you have a nervous system that tells you that you should always play small. So just become aware of what this conversation sounds like within you. And learn how to take those steps forward. So if you're wanting to expand more, don't be tempted to move super fast and take huge leaps of faith. Because when you leap too far and you try to become someone that you're not, that's like completely different than who you are, if you don't have the stability within your nervous system to contain that expression, you're going to fall right back into your fear, into playing small, into thinking that you don't have the strength and the capability to be this person, to grow into this person, to be this expressive. So this card talks about being slow and methodical. So both. Don't go too slow. Don't sit in stagnancy and not move at all because you're scared, but also don't take super huge leaps, especially in the beginning. If you're just now becoming aware of this conversation that happens within you that around your nervous system and your expression and like what their relationship looks like, your nervous system might be at that point where it's saying, don't move at all. We're in comfort right now. Stay small. You're not safe. So don't be tempted to not move at all. And don't be tempted to listen to this wild, expressive part of you that says, no, we want to be everything. We have the strength to do it all, and take these huge leaps of faith when your nervous system can't handle it. So don't be tempted to also move super fast. Like, you got to find a good balance between how you move. Don't leap. Don't be in stagnancy. Take nice, small steps that both your expression feels fulfilled and your nervous system feels safe taking those steps. All right, what else? Anything else? If you're wanting this sort of success, if you're wanting to manifest, if you're wanting this abundance, you're going to have to put down all of the bags that you're carrying with you, all of the limiting mindsets, all of the weight from society, from your family, from all of these things that you've put on yourself along the way. You're going to have to put those down and rely on your intuition. You're going to have to take steps in the dark when you can't see what your next step is. You're going to have to learn how to trust your intuition. But yeah, just release any extra weight that you're carrying, any weight that you don't need to carry around with you, judgments from other people, limiting beliefs, stuff like that, and follow your intuition. You might not know where it's leading you. You might not even know where your next baby step is, but you're going to need that strength to be able to take those first steps forward. You're going to need that strength. So nurture yourself along the way. When it comes to this relationship, you're going to be nurturing yourself a lot. This feels like kind of like a reparenting situation too. Like you need to learn how to speak to yourself kindly, how to pep talk yourself, how to be your own cheerleader, how to soothe yourself when you're panicking. This is like this feels like nervous system regulation. So provide for yourself. Have the strength to walk forward blindly. Have the strength to follow your intuition. Put the bags down. And have fun on this journey.